Hello, everybody, and welcome into this week's 30 Minutes program. I have a real treat for you, particularly if you're a Tennessee Volunteer basketball men's team. You will be really excited to know that our guest today is Robert Lee Hubbs III. He played for the University of Tennessee Volunteers a few years ago, but today he's playing the role of, well, maybe someone that is able to take care of life because of you. You're trying to be what I call a real, genuine role maker.
Exactly.
Welcome in. What are you doing nowadays since you graduated from the University of Tennessee, Knoxville?
Well, thank you. I appreciate you for having me on the show. But since I left Knoxville, I played 3.5 years professionally overseas. My first year being in Montenegro. If you don't know where that is on the globe, it's right beside Serbia. So I spent the year there and I had a pretty decent rookie season. Averaged about 20 points. Was like second team all European my first rookie year.
Wow.
And so I ended up transitioning into my next contract, which led me to Norway. I was in Oslo, Norway for 2 years, but I just had a really breakout season, breakout year playing ball overseas, finals MVP, first team all European team as well. So those were pretty big accomplishments for me, given the path that I had to take.
You know, a lot of times it's one person that puts you on a path. Was there somebody growing up in Dyer County that helped you along the way?
Well, I wasn't necessarily, nobody really helped me. My dad established a plan for me a long time ago when I was small.
Tell me about your daddy.
Robert Lee Hubbs Jr., my pops, he's just an all around guy. I mean, if I had to say who I wanted to be like in life, it'll be my father, because he just showed me all the right things, the right ways to go about approaching life, approaching people, approaching opportunities and all that. So he just established a game plan, for me a while back. He was like, hey, if we want to get to this destination, this is what we're going to have to do. This is what the sacrifices is going to have to take. This is what I'm going to have to do. This is what your mother's going to have to do. So it all came a family plan to get where I wanted to go, which was to be seen on TV and playing professional balls at some point. So we laid those ground rules down at an early age. And every day I just worked towards that. I put in extra time in the gym. I watched film a lot. Worked on my game, skill work, watching pros play. That's a thing I think that's lost in the game now with these young kids. Mm-hmm. They don't watch enough pros, and not the ones who are just all flashy and fancy on the court. The ones who are fundamentally sound and technically sound with the game of basketball. Those are the guys who I watch. Who has the best footwork? Who has the best reaction time? Those type of things what makes of a good basketball quality player.
Tell me about your mama.
My mom, Lisa Hubbs, she's a jack of all trades for sure. She's a jack of all trades. She might be more popular and more famous than I am, so I say. But she's an all around woman, a very very strong woman. She's also laid the ground rules down too as well. She knows about hard work and sacrifice, and she's been owning a daycare for over 30 plus years. So
taking care of kids.
So
teaching children.
So
making them behave.
Right. So it starts right there. So it's already installed in my brain what to do the right way for my parents. So that's what I think.
Brothers and sisters?
Brothers. I have two sisters. My oldest sister, LaShonda Hubbs King, played at Brighton High School back in the day, 2000 area. She won a lot of basketball games. And my younger sister, Caitlin Hubbs, who's certified nurse now in Nashville. So she's doing big things as well. So big dreams and big goals has always been in our household. There's just something we've always planted in our brains and everything, that we have to go out and be the best for us so we can go out and others that around us can go out and do the same.
I watched you play basketball when you played at Dyer County.
Mm-hmm.
Derek McCord was your coach.
Yes, sir.
What did you learn from playing basketball?
Coach McCord brought a different style of game to Dyer County when they first got here in 05, 06, from Missouri. So we got here, the brand of basketball that was playing around the area was just, simple basketball at the time, pass the ball to the court, 1-on-1, take your shot, play defense. And Coach McCoy got here, he showed us a different way. Like, look, this is how we're going to play here. And it was fast paced. 35 plus minutes of just straight up and down, full court, pressuring the ball, pushing the ball up the court, getting a lot of threes, getting a lot of layups, a lot of dunks, like a exciting brand of basketball. And once he brought that over here at the time, I was in like 6th grade, and Coach John Beck was my middle school coach, and there was a tag team in the Dyer County job, McCord obviously being the head coach. Man, it was just so exciting and fun to push the ball up, play fast.
Now, how tall were you at that time?
I'm regular middle school size age at this time, 5'4", 5.
And now you're 6'6"?
6'6", I believe. Maybe still growing. Maybe still growing. But it was just a exciting brand of basketball. I got to really show who can really be athletic in open transition and flying up the floor and good IQ and pressure and the ball defense. That's what made it so fun, and that's why you see the 06, 07, 08 Dyer County teams go deep into the state playoffs, and then my group coming in 2009, 2010, carry on those traditions because it was already in our brains, culture-wise. This is how we're going to play, and this is how we're going to be, and everybody around the middle school, the elementary school, the younger kids, we're adopting those same intangibles, and I mean, that's how you build a dynasty right there.
So you graduate from Dyer County. How many coaches came to your house, wanted you to come to play basketball for them?
Well, I don't know. I think I had to check with Dyersburg Airport. I think they might have to owe me some NIL back money or something because all them planes and airplanes and stuff flying to Dyersburg just don't seem right. But on the serious side, man, we saw visitors at our house and at Dyer County during the school time. I mean, just about every day. I mean,
who were some of the coaches that came in?
Billy Donovan, 2-time national champion from Florida. He popped up a couple times. Conzo Martin, who I eventually played with at Tennessee, he popped up numerous of times. Josh Pastner, who was at Memphis. I mean, just about everybody I can think of. I mean, I don't want to single anybody out. Just if you had to take it in perspective.
Was it hard? I mean, and how did you make a decision to go to University of Tennessee?
Well, at 15, 16 years old is pretty tough because my brain's not fully developed. I'm just worried about basketball. I don't halfway understand what's going on and how valuable I was at the time to these people. I'm just taking it day by day because that's all I ever known. So, I mean, at the time it was very difficult and frustrating because things normal kids was doing after school, before school.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wasn't able to do that because I had to talk to a coach, set up a home visit or go here, go there. So my life growing up in high school was a little bit, restricted on some things on what I could do and what I couldn't do.
Mm-hmm. So how did you decide on Tennessee?
Well, once it got down to the nitty gritty of things, me and my family sat down and we kind of analyzed all the different schools, coaching staff, what did we like, what we didn't like, what could be better and all that. So after I went on a couple of visits, we started narrowing down and I came down to my 3, which was Tennessee, Vanderbilt, and UCLA at the time. Coaches switch schools. They go from here to there, players transfer. So a lot of things taken into factor in that. Tennessee was not my first option. I was about to commit to Mississippi State. Something happened behind the scenes. Their coach leaves. Going to Auburn for a little bit. Something happened, So I ended up at Tennessee. I was like, all right, this is a choice I'm going to make for myself. Everything's right. It feels right. It's a good family atmosphere. In state, I can be the one that helped set those ground rules from, hey, let's get Tennessee back on track and winning, which they are now. I'm not saying I had anything to do with that, but I was definitely a stepping stone, a stepping tool for, hey, this is a guy who's going to be loyal, be faithful to his fan base, and carry on.
Tell me about the coach that coached you.
Which one? That's the right question. Which one?
All right, let's start. You go ahead and go run through the crowd right there.
Okay, well, I was recruited by Conzo Martin, who I eventually committed and playing for. I believe I might have been his first 5-star recruit that he's had, and maybe like the second and Tennessee history at the time. So, he was just like a secondary father for me during the recruiting process. I mean, him and my dad was kind of on the same page. We had the same vision and ideas. He was like, man, Arthur, you just gonna come in here and just hoop, play your game. We got everything around you need. And then, that was the plan. Unfortunately, I went down with a shoulder injury my freshman year that kind of took a little away from that plan. But everything happens for a reason, so I had to go through that.
Next coach?
Donnie Tyndall, he came in my sophomore year, and I don't know how much I can speak about this, but I don't know too much. But he came in, and it just wasn't the right fit for the university. I think a lot of people saw that, and just something you had to go through and find the right coach. Sometimes you have to go through dark times to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and sure enough, behold, after that situation, Rick Barnes comes in and completely changes my perspective, the Tennessee fan base perspective, and I'm probably sure more.
What do you know about Coach Barnes?
Man,
tell me about him.
My first impression, I was like, okay, I like it. He's gonna be challenging. I like it the first week. He brings his staff and all his guys. And
are you a senior now?
I'm a junior at this point. Okay. I'm a junior at this point, so I have to lay my groundwork early to, so I can have the best 2 years of my collegiate career, because this is the third coach at this time, so I want some stability. I want to go out, on a decent note.
But you stayed with Tennessee, though.
I stayed with Tennessee. I had other options. Definitely had options, but I'm a loyal guy. I didn't want to go somewhere and then adapt a new home. In 5-6 years later, when I'm showing up still to Neyland Stadium, it doesn't feel like home to me. So I kept that in mind. Like, I wanted to be somewhere where I could always call home. But, it was just a different situation, challenging for sure. My first year, we kind of butted heads. Me as a player wasn't necessarily doing the things that I needed to do to be the best player I could at the time, because of probably picking up on bad habits the year before that. So just learning new things and learning the Rick Barnes way, as I call it, extra time, extra work, even more on top of what you already been doing. So it took me a year to get that under my belt. But my senior year, I think I had everything that he was trying to install, and kind of had to be that leader, because I was the only senior on my team my senior year, because everybody had transferred and left. So I wanted to be that guy, like, hey, this is how it's got to be done for us to get where we need to be in the future.
Well, I don't want to go into all the personal part about your body, but you did have an issue with your knee.
Yep.
Had to have surgery on that. That set you back a little bit.
Yeah. I've tore my meniscus 2 or 3 times. Once being in high school, we kind of kept it under the rug just because, who I was and that type of player. Some things just best to keep internal. We get to my junior year, and it kind of flares up a little bit, swelling and all that. So
it gets worse as you get older.
It definitely gets worse as I get older. Most people don't realize what I went through as an athlete. Because like I said, I try to keep a lot of stuff internal. Because other than family, there's some stuff you don't need to put out there. But the day-to-day process for me, it was long. I was in rehab every day, trying to get my knee right, strengthened right, just to be able to play out there. I remember vividly going out there, and from the bottom of my kneecap all the way up to my thigh, my right leg, would be swollen. We have to drain it weekly, maybe. And I can remember countless of time how many tubes of fluid would be in that little tube. And I just couldn't imagine every day me going out there playing, sacrificing my body.
And this is when you're overseas?
This is at Tennessee.
And then you went overseas.
Yeah.
Playing at Tennessee and getting that much pain that you're having to deal with?
Yep. This is kind of where me and Coach Barnes butted heads at, because he didn't know the significance of my knee at the time. And I had to tell him, I was like, look, I can only do this. If I can do this on this day, I can't do this on this day. It's just how it is. I don't know what's going on. I really don't want to get an x-ray and everything, because I can play, but it's manageable. So we developed a plan. I remember maybe 3 weeks straight, I didn't practice. Couldn't practice, because if I practice out there, my knee might get swollen, or might flare up, or I might not be 100%. So I did like a little small workout during practice, cheering on my teammates. But when game day came and the lights came, I just made sure I had to be ready.
If you've just joined us, we've got Robert Hubbs III joining us. He's a former University of Tennessee volunteer, played basketball for a 4-year career, and I'm going to run these numbers, okay?
Yeah.
Just give me a second, see if anything steps out.
Mm-hmm.
1,046 career points. You averaged approximately 10 points every ball game, and 375 rebounds, 127 assists, 48th member of the University of Tennessee Volunteers 1,000-point club, ending your career ranked 47th on all Tennessee all-time scoring chart.
Mm-hmm.
When I say all of that, does it bring back either a memory or does it just say, just move on? I mean, and I can move on, but I mean, it says you were a strong finisher around the rim, finished his career with 59 slam dunks. That kind of hurts knee if you're not careful.
Right.
26 as a senior at Tennessee, appeared and started in all 32 games, finishing your senior season as Tennessee's leading scorer, ranked 16th in the SEC, 13.7 points per ball game. Also, the Vols' second leading rebounder. Both those figures represented career highs. You're pretty doggone good, man. Now, that's going to lead the next question. Okay, you know where I'm going with it. So, you are a talented young man. Not only that, you play great basketball. You got all of this numbers here.
Mm-hmm.
So, the question, did you go play in the NBA? What team did you play in?
Right.
What happened?
So, I'll share a story. A lot of people, I mean, really nobody really knows this as well.
They will now.
So I was going to support my dad. I believe, my senior year after the basketball season. During this time, I went up and cleaned my knee up as well, arthroscopic knee surgery in my knee to kind of get it going back. So I'm watching him play summer ball, and I believe Dexter, Missouri, or Dexter, Arkansas. Mm-hmm. He's playing the game. I get a phone call from a Boston, Massachusetts number. So I step outside and I take it because my heart's telling me to take it. And I pick up and he's like, "Hello, Mr. Hubbs. This is such and such. I can't remember his name, with the Boston Celtics. We'd like to fly you up here for a group workout in preparation for the NBA draft." During this time, I'm still rehabbing and therapy and I'm nowhere near 100%, maybe 50 really. So I mean, I know where my body at. And when I tell you that was the hardest rejection I had to turn down right there, it broke my heart because I knew, one, I wasn't ready, and two, didn't want to give nobody false hope. You know, I didn't want me to go up there withholding information that I'm not healthy and wasting an opportunity that somebody else probably could have that probably is healthy and deserves to be in that spot as much as I do right now. So, I mean, it hurts, but you have to look at things from a different perspective. I mean, just had to take a different route. I knew there was no way I could go up there like that. Probably a big moment in my life. I mean, it was really touchy and really frustrating as well. I mean, that was a dream of mine to always play in the NBA and all that. But I mean, that moment just made me stronger in who I am today. I mean, nothing's never been easy in my life. Everything's been an alternate route, an alternate destination, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. It's just, I'm built for it. I mean, it's who I've been made to be.
I know from talking with you that you're a man of God.
Mm-hmm.
You have a knit of being able to say, you know, Jesus Christ is my Savior.
Oh, yeah.
And you're sharing that today with kids that once were you,
mm-hmm.
and you're working with Lake County.
Right, yep.
And you're trying to help these kids grow up and be role models for other children as they grow up as well.
Exactly.
When did you find yourself with the Lord and making that decision that you're going to follow him?
Well, we grew up in the church home ever since I was a baby, as far as I can remember. But when it finally clicked for me personally, when I finally knew what was actually going on, not just going to church and sitting there and listening, clapping when everybody else does, but actually listening and feeling the word. You can listen to the word, but do you feel the word? It clicked with me probably my sophomore or junior year when I was in Knoxville. I was attending a church in Knoxville called Overcomers Believers Church, OBC, and walked in and my family was like, "Hey, let's go to church. We got to find a church up here for when they come up there on the Saturday games. We stay Sunday. They stay Sunday. We go out to eat, typical family stuff, and they come back to Dyer County." So we found a church up there, and the pastor just, everything he was saying was just resonating with my body, like everything. Like he'll say something, I feel the tingles come down my body. I'm like, man, something feel a little different here. So he went on with his sermon, and he got through the sermon, and I kept going, getting more emotional throughout the whole speech. Then they did the altar call at the end, and something in my body was just telling me, "Hey, just go to the altar, and just need to go up there and be prayed on." And they kind of gave me a vision on, okay, I'm in the middle point of my life that, hey, I can take this direction and go down this path. It might not be a good path, or I can take this direction and go down this path, get more than my faith and in my religion and believing in what I believe in, which is Jesus Christ. So I manned up and I was like, man, I'm just going to do everything right and going to take that leap of faith and step out on my own and not worried about who's looking at me, what's being said. I'm just going to do my own thing and keep believing. And then ever since then, I believe I was maybe 20 years old, 19 or 20. I just been super deep in my faith and believing in what I believe in because of all the things I've been through, the knee injuries, the rejection of the NBA and all that. So they just keep on preparing me like, hey, just stay deep in your faith, keep trusting God. He'll lead you in the right direction and he'll take care of everything. So that's how I live truly, honestly, day by day. Some people worry about things that they probably should worry about. When it comes to me, I pray and I leave it in his hands and I just let it go because I know I got things to do and I know he'll take care of it like he said he would. So there's no need for me to worry.
How does this help Lake County's students?
Ones
that you're working with.
The ones they get to see me each and every day. So when they see me, they know I'm coming with them with some kind of good advice. So my thing is each kid I see every day, I got to try to give them some type of advice. When they leave those doors in Lake County, they're leaving knowing that, hey, we got something we can work with, some advice that, hey, I need to do this. I need to be more focused on my studies, basketball. I need to be treating my family members right and be doing more for them and all that. So just anything I can give them on a daily basis, I want to give them. Like, it can be a 30-second motivational speech. I'm going to be the one to give it to them. So I just feel like that right there is more valuable than any other thing you can teach these kids these days.
5 years, 10 from now?
But right now, I'm in the phase where it's a prove-it phase for me, coaching-wise. I've spent a lot of years analyzing, sat on the bench with my dad, sat on the bench with a couple of other coaches. Right now, I'm in the prove-it stage, and that's why I think I've chose Lake County. I want to prove to myself that, hey, I'm capable of coaching with the best. I mean, it's just like playing the game of basketball. I mean, even when I was younger, I played with guys older than me. A lot of coaches that I'm coaching against now are 15, 20 years older than me. So
you're sitting on the bench at Lake County.
Yes.
And working with
Jeff Gordon, a really great guy. And he's handed me the keys to the operation. So I'm just, like I said, I'm in that proving stage. So I just want to go out and prove that, hey, our kids can compete. I know kind of what I'm doing a little bit.
How do you feel about Tennessee today?
I mean, it's everything I envisioned of from when I committed, to be honest. I mean, the days before I was there, I mean, if you wasn't keeping up with Tennessee, I mean, it was kind of a dumpster fire, if I'm just being honest. 3 or 4 athletic directors, 3 or 4 school presidents, 3 or 4 coaches, football, basketball, baseball. It's a lot of flip-flopping going on. So, but when I envisioned me committing and signing that national intent letter to Tennessee, is everything that is going on now. I'm a fan now. I'm not there permanently going through it, but it's just as fun as a fan.
Do you go back to see any of the ball games? You go back to Knoxville and watch?
Oh, yeah.
You get a seat? Do you have free tickets?
Well, I'm a big football guy. It's hard for me to make basketball games during basketball season, but I can. When they come to Nashville, I try to catch. But football, man, I try to go as many home games as possible. I think this is my 3rd or 4th year, maybe, season ticket holder. So, yeah. I just try to do my part and be a fan for once, and I love every second of it.
You see Tennessee basketball, women and men, going deep this year?
I definitely do. the men. I mean, I think it's time for them. It's time for us. I won't say them. It's time for us to finally take that next step. And once we get in the tournament, to show how much focus and experience we really have, and just eliminate all the naysayers and take that next step. So we want to be the one raising that ball up in the end one day. So that's always the goal. Did you spend any time with Bob Kessling, the voice of the Vols, through the years? Oh yeah. I spent. He's retiring. I know. I saw that on Twitter or X as they call it now, and it was kind of touchy, man. When you hear him in Thompson Boylan Arena and Neyland Stadium, he is the sound of the Vols. Like he's the guy. So that person next up for that job, man. I hope they come with it, because I mean, Bob's definitely he's one of a kind. I love. His voice just does something when he's in that stadium to get some crowd going. For How'd you like to be on a color announcer for a basketball game? Me? Yeah. Oh yeah, I will. I mean, I may use you one of these days. I may pick up the phone and say, I need some help. Oh yeah, Coach Gordon helped me last year. Did he really? Oh, you did. Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be something I'll definitely look forward to. I'm all for that. But you're a communications major, is that right? I am communication studies major. That's where I learned to openly talk in front of people without a prompt. That's why I pride myself on motivational speaking, because I mean, I went to school to do it, so I mean, why not do it whenever I can? So Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Going back to the FCA, me and Miss Decker out of Dyersburg did a camp last year in Ripley, Tennessee with FCA, where we did a little Bible study, and then they got a little mixture of some Jesus hoop as well as too. So down the court, and they got the word, and it was good, man. I love doing stuff like that, especially the ones that doesn't come with any compensation or anything like that, because it's all from the heart. If I didn't want to do it, I wouldn't do it. But the things I do it, I do it out of my heart, man, because I mean, that's what it all's for. If you can't do something out of love and all that, it just doesn't sit right for me. Well, I think our audience has come closer to knowing who Robert Hubbs III is. But more importantly, the fact that you have an opportunity to witness to a lot of people who you are, mm-hmm. what you are, who made you, and who you pray to. Right. I mean, there's not any doubt about all of those. Oh, yeah, no doubt. No doubt at all. Your greatest moment mm-hmm. at Tennessee, what was it? A greatest moment? Oh, man, let's see. I have two. Can I have two? Better hurry. Okay. Beating Kentucky at home, my senior year was probably a best feeling. Then my sophomore year, when we were at Vanderbilt, I believe I hit the game tying layup floater type deal to send the game into overtime. It was just an unreal moment going against your rival opponents. Everybody's there, and knowing that I did something to contribute to those two wins, just everything to me. Robert Lee Hubbs III, enjoyed visiting with you today. Yes, sir. I'm glad you came in, and more importantly, I appreciate the fact that you share us with your faith, and more than anything else, that it's clear that you're going to help a lot of people along your whatever that road is going to be. Mm-hmm. But it's clear to me that you're going to be that guy. Yes, sir. Oh, I never answered your question about the 5 to 10 years as well. I just remember that. Well, let's push it to 10 years. 10 years, I'll hopefully, if I'm not at a big time high school program developing, I would like to be the coach of the University of Tennessee Vols one day and help lead them to a national championship. That's been a goal of mine for a couple of years, so I definitely want to do that. But in the meantime, try to win some state championships wherever I'm at. Thanks so much for coming in today. Oh yeah, yes sir, appreciate it. Robert Lee Hubbs III, former Tennessee Vol, working in Lake County in the school system, helping with the basketball program. Really a good guy. Hope you get a chance to meet him. That's our program today here on 30 Minutes. Thanks for listening, everybody, to this week's 30 Minutes. Paul Tinkle, pre-recording.
You've been listening to 30 Minutes, a community affairs program on Thunderbolt Radio. You can listen to this broadcast and others anytime by visiting thunderboltradio.com and following the Thunderbolt Radio and Digital YouTube page. Thanks for listening.